In fact, we've got with us Richard Redoglia, CEO at Matrix Global, now joining in. Richard, thank you very much for joining in. You would have heard our colleague Manisha laying out the turf. Share your insights. The situation is just unfolding right now, but before the details come in, we've seen that risk premium and crude prices spike.
This is remarkable. You're exactly right. This is another price spike, one that we've seen many times over the years, though. So this is not the first one. This one, though, is very dramatic because it's coming against a major OPEC partner, Iran. Iran produces around 3.5 million barrels a day. That's only around 2.5 to 3% of the world's supply, but it also sits on the edge of the Strait of Hormuz. And your prior analysis said that's where 20% of the world oil prices move through. What is interesting is that prices have been moving higher over the past number of days. Just a couple days ago, the market was up around $4 or $5. Currently, it's up almost $9. I think about almost 10% of prices. Really, this is the first time we've ever seen an attack on Iran directly. Back in the 80s, we had the Iran-Iraq War. We had the Gulf War 1 and 2. Both caused significant price spikes. And the interesting thing about those price spikes is that they were met ultimately by excess supply. And that is what's interesting about this situation we're in right now. And while the market is reacting dramatically, just like it reacted dramatically to the Ukraine war, where prices went up to as high as $120 a barrel, this too is getting another reaction. But this one is different. This one is now at a point in time where the threat of a larger regional war, and more importantly, a cutoff of oil supply by Iran to the Strait of Hormuz, is something that is a possibility. We've never seen this before. This is something that is dramatic, and it's why the market at this point in time is maintaining this high price of $7, $8, $9. Over the next 2 or 3 days, we are going to find out what the responses and what the effects might be.
Hi, Richard. Good morning. Good to see you. And as you said, they blocked the Strait of Hormuz. That's the problem because 20% of the global supply goes there, though Iran's not a very, very big player in terms of global supply. I think it's sub 2% or thereabouts. But tell us, what are you working with? I mean, in terms of scenario analysis, the last time around, as you said, crude oil prices spiked to around $100 plus per barrel. We've already seen a big move. I think in the last few hours, it's already moved $8 to $9 per barrel. Where do you think it's headed?
It is the $24,000 question. It's a great question. I think what's interesting about the world right now is we have excess supply. There currently is around 5 to 6 million of excess supply between other OPEC members. And while this rally is significant, it really only puts us back in a price range that we've experienced over the past 3 or 4 years. If you go back even longer to 2016 and 2016 to 2020, the price had a range up as high as $120 given the Ukraine war. What the market has shown over all of these price spikes, its ability to maintain higher production. And I think that is something that we have to be very careful of. And so while the market might make rally here, what is interesting, if you look at the current price of oil, around $76, $77, but then you look at the price of oil out a year, it's only $65. So one has to ask themselves, while it is a short-term oil spike, is it going to be a long-term oil move? And I'm not convinced of that. I tend to believe that the market has found a way to produce a lot more oil. And while it's important that we're going to see what the response of Iran's going to be, it's going to be hard to load tankers. And so we could be losing a couple of million barrels of oil production a day. The question is going to be 1 month from now, what is it going to look like? And one of the things we do know is that there's excess supply in the marketplace.
Richard, where is, according to you, the U.S. in all of this? I mean, it's, as many are pointing out, it's a bit of a...
sticky wicket. Yes.
Yeah, because President Trump's last social post kind of did not indicate that there were strikes were imminent, and actually indicated to the contrary. And now this, although there are reports indicating Israel is saying through sources that, they informed Washington before striking. U.S. wants to stay out of it, but will they be able to?
I think they're going to try to stay out, but I think the last thing is we'll see is U.S. militarily involved in this. I will not think there'll be U.S. airplanes flying. Trump was elected on the back that I am not going to start a war. He, in fact, interestingly enough, Wyckoff, his lead negotiator, was supposed to be in Iran, or they're supposed to meet with the Iranians this Sunday. And so it makes one wonder, while Netanyahu let him know that this was going on, and one would think that if Trump said don't do it, that would be one of the things you would think he might say, but he couldn't stop Netanyahu from doing this. It is an interesting question. I tend to believe that Trump does not want to start wars. That's one of the things, that was one of his major points here in the United States during this last election, that he would not start any new wars that the U.S. would be involved in. So
and he's promised stopping wars, but what he's also promised is significantly lower prices, oil prices. And I would say that is the one thing before this all started where he has success so far. It's still early in his term, but oil prices are down quite a bit from the time that he took over. And that is at risk now.
You are spot on. That is the exact right analysis. I live in California. It has the highest oil prices in the country, and you're exactly right. The oil prices in the rest of the United States have fallen dramatically. This will cause a price spike. It takes a while, remember, for a crude price to make its way into a product price. But like inflation, when product gasoline prices and or diesel prices make a higher move, what does happen, it's sticky on the way down. So that's exactly right. This is not going to fit into his Truth Social posts, right? This does not fit into him saying, I've brought prices down. And so I've watched the oil markets literally for 46 years. I have been around for every oil move, from the Iranian war to the Iraq 1 and 2 to the moves that we've seen here over the past 6 to 10 years. This one frightens me the most because it is a direct attack on the sovereignty of Iran, which I understand where Israel's coming from. And it's really coming from, and I'm not sure if this is the case, and you guys might have not seen the news that we had here in the U.S., which was Trump has been saying for the past 4 days, he's always saying what he's going to do, right? We're going to do this. We're going to do this. He had been saying for the past 3 to 4 days that the Iranian talks are not going well and they need to be careful. And if you look at the oil price today, it's up. Well, since we have been on this call, the market was up $9. Now it's up $6.50. So that shows you the volatility. Interestingly enough, 4 days ago, the market we're up another $6 from 4 days ago. So the market has been trending in this direction. And it's been doing it in a way where it's basically been taking out the shorts, right? The shorts have been in control of this market for the past 6 months or so. Since Trump got elected, they've been in control of it. This is a shakeout of the shorts. And so we're going to have to see what this next couple of weeks is going to bring.
Okay, Richard, this was a great conversation. Thank you very much for that. He's worried. He's been tracking the crude market for the last 4 decades. He's very worried this time, but he doesn't expect a long-term durable impact on crude prices on the way up.